What does it mean to be creative, and what is creativity? I think creativity is, and I think I said this in class, it's asking what if instead of saying no. And kind of constantly trying to answer a what if question. And not necessarily, like in the, okay, what if the sky was falling? Like, then, like the way that 5-year-olds ask what if questions. But I think like looking at our world and society and the way we interact and seeing things, and instead of saying, well, this is the way this is, there's no other way to be it, thinking, well, what if something changed? What would that look like? And thinking outside the box and thinking outside of the lines that I think we just kind of accept when we live in a society. There's societal rules that we're all taught from a very young age, and it's very easy to not challenge them. And I think creativity is not necessarily challenging in like an antagonizing way, but I think just sort of like being able to see the world for what it could be and not for what it necessarily is. And that's also why art is important, because it expands our views and it gives a different point of view and a perspective, and sort of gives a look into somebody else's perspective on something that can sometimes make you question your own, or even make you feel stronger in your beliefs. If you're watching art or if you're viewing art that is something similar to what you feel, it can help you feel less alone, For example, like when I read literature or watch TV and like, see something similar to me, then it makes me feel less alone and like more like, oh, okay, somebody else has a similar experience. That means that I'm not the only person who feels this way. And sometimes it's also like, wow, this is really interesting. I've never felt that way. Some people feel such a different way than I do. And, you sort of build empathy towards other people and other people's experiences through art.
I've been thinking a lot about this term art for art's sake, and I just think it's really interesting because I've never really like considered what art for art's sake actually is about. And I think it's like any art that is for its own sake, I don't know, I just like kind of have a little bit of a problem with that. And I feel like that kind of implies that like art exists in a vacuum and that it doesn't speak to the social context that it's existing in. And I don't know, no art is a monologue. And I think it's really important to like, I've been thinking a lot about this in my journey through CalArts, but like, what is my art in conversation with, and like, what am I elevating? I think it's, I don't know. I don't even know if there's even such a thing as like non-political art. Like I think all art is political because it's created from bodies.